almost every student who wants to study in Canada wonder what are going to be their work prospects or job opportunities, or how much can they actually work when they move abroad. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about what are the post-graduation work opportunities for international students, but more importantly, what can allow you to work. What's happening, everybody? My name is Z and I make helpful videos for students like you who are planning on studying abroad. Especially, I make content around studying in Canada, UK, Australia, and USA. If you want to stay tuned to my future content, make sure to subscribe, like, you can even follow me on Instagram. Now let's talk about what actually allows you to work in Canada. There are two parts to this. One before graduation and one after graduation. Today we're going to be covering mostly what happens after graduation. However, I'm going to give you a little tip on what happens before graduation. Before graduation, you don't really need a work permit. You can actually use your study permit to work on and off campus. Obviously, most of you guys know you can work full-time on campus and only 20 hours per week off campus during your study period. Once your study period is done, let's say you're going through a semester break, you can actually work full-time. Now, that can be done simply with your study permit. However, if you're gonna get a co-op job opportunity, you need to apply for a co-op work permit separately. Now let's talk about what happens after graduation. So after graduating, you need to apply for what's called a post-graduation work permit. Just like your study permit, your post-graduation work permit will allow you to stay in Canada and keep on working full-time. First of all, what makes you eligible for getting a post-graduation work permit? So you have to study a program that is at least 8 months or more. Now, based on the duration of your program, so if you study an 8-month program, you're going to get a 1-year post-graduation work permit. If you study for a 2-year program, which is 24 months, or a 3-year program, even a 4-year program, you're always going to get a 3-year work permit. You don't get anything more than a 3-year work permit. So 1-year programs give you a 1-year work permit, 2-year diplomas or advanced diplomas or master's degrees give you 3-year work permit, and lastly, a 3-year advanced diploma or a 4-year degree gives you a 3-year work permit. You may be wondering, Z, if I have bad grades, does it affect my work permit eligibility? No, it has no correlation. All you have to do is you need to finish your degree, and you're going to need your completion certificate and your transcripts to be able to apply for your post-graduation work permit. Now, there's a very interesting catch to this. You can never become a part-time student while studying a full-time program, because that's going to make you ineligible. So many students make this mistake when they move abroad and they start studying, and they realize that if they actually don't study for one semester, maybe push it by one semester, and they start working full-time, when you submit your transcript later on at some point during your application for PGWP, that will actually show on your transcript and your PGWP might be rejected. If you have any weird cases in your profile, for example, maybe you're not being able to finish your program within the set graduation date, and you're going to have to take a course after your estimated completion date, that can become a red flag for your post-graduation work permit. However, you can actually describe this through a letter of explanation. Make sure to address it to the visa officer saying that, hey, I couldn't actually finish my program because I wanted to take some extra electives or whatever your case was. That's why I had to go part-time in my last semester of studies just to make sure that I graduate. In those cases, your work permit is going to be approved. So when do you apply for it and how do you apply for it? Basically, after you're done graduating, you simply have 180 days to apply for your post-graduation work permit. Make sure to get this done and get it out of the way. Don't wait to apply for your post-graduation work permit. You get your transcripts or at least a letter of completion. Sometimes to get your full certificate from your university or college, it takes time. However, you cannot wait that much time, right? So all you're going to ask for is a letter of graduation, which is going to be official from your institution. Once you have that, you're going to submit that along with your transcripts and your passport, and it's very easy to get your post-graduation work permit. The fees for it is about $255 or $285 Canadian dollars, and it takes about 2 months or 3 months to get approved, but it varies obviously depending on the time. Here's a tip for a lot of you. When you're applying for your initial study permit, always extend the date of completion of your studies by at least a month. Because here's the thing, you don't want it to be set at the exact date your courses end, because what's going to happen then is you cannot apply for that letter, because you cannot request for your letter of graduation on your last day of exam, exam. You need some time for the results to be out and the credits to be counted. So you're gonna use those extra days that you mentioned on your study permit to use as leverage so you get your grades and the letter of graduation on time, so you still have some time to apply for your post-graduation work permit. Otherwise, you're gonna literally have to leave Canada right after your last exam, because neither are you gonna be able to have status with your study permit anymore, and you don't even have time to apply for your post-graduation work permit. So always extend the completion date or the intended completion date on your study permit application when you're first applying. Always use a month of runway. That way you get your transcripts and your letter of graduation. Now, post-graduation work permit is extremely important for you because this is where you're going to gain work experience in order to apply for your permanent residency in the long term. Now, obviously, if you're in provinces like Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, it's very competitive. So you need to stack some professional work experience. Doesn't always have to be related to your field, but at least somewhat professional. You cannot be working at a minimum wage job and qualify for a Canadian experience class. You need education from obviously a post-secondary institute, plus have at least 2 to 3 years of work experience to have enough points to qualify for the CEC draw, to meet the CEC minimum draw requirements. Now I know it's getting a little bit technical. Obviously in the future videos I might make some more explanatory, more descriptive videos to make it easier for you, but all you have to know is once you get your post-graduate work permit, that's it. You only get once. Let's say your 3 years are over, you couldn't land a job and now you're helpless and you cannot extend your work permit, and even if you go back and study another program, you're not going to be able to apply for another post-graduation work permit after. So if you couldn't qualify for your permanent residence within those 3 years and you don't have enough points with your work experience, simply move to another province such as the Atlantic provinces, and it might be a little easier for you to get PR because they have these programs where you simply need a job offer and you get your permanent residence. Or sometimes you could qualify for PNP programs, but that's for another video. So all you have to know is that for your post-graduate work permit, simply you have to graduate, never go part-time during your courses unless it's for a specific reason that can be explained. You cannot come up with things like I got sick and I had to go part-time. You cannot say that I just wanted to work full-time and I went part-time. These things are not acceptable at all. Plus, after you're graduating, you're gonna have 1 month to actually get your letter of graduation and transcripts and then apply for your post-graduation work permit. So make sure when you're applying for your study permit initially, extend the intended date of graduation. Hope this video helped, guys. Obviously, I'm here if you have any questions related to studying abroad, especially if you're trying to achieve a successful career as an international student. There are thousands of YouTubers out there giving you tips on how to study abroad, but not a lot can actually tell you how to stand out and become successful as an international student. I'm a prototype of that. I've set myself up as a successful example for all international students. I graduated. Before graduation, I had 2 businesses. I worked with multinational companies. Even after graduation, I launched my own businesses, worked with one of the biggest real estate companies in the world, and now I have my permanent residence. I'm traveling around the world, living the dream lifestyle. I'm not stuck anywhere. So you can check me out on LinkedIn, look at the track record of mine in the past. Hope it inspires you as an international student. I hope it inspires you, and I hope it makes you never settle for less. Okay, so if you really want some advanced tips on how to build your career, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, follow, ask your questions in the comments, and follow me on Instagram. That being said, I will see you in the next video.